Modern culture sells a formula for absolute safety. It suggests that if you optimize your routine, outwork your peers, and invest enough in yourself, you can build a fortress against failure. But the math of reality is less forgiving. Raw talent, a high work ethic, and a growing bank account offer zero immunity from disaster. These things provide resources, but they do not provide a shield. Chaos is a statistical certainty. At some point, the unexpected and even called for will strike. Life happens to everyone, bringing with it the kind of damage that no amount of preparation can fully deflect. Total control is an illusion. When you reach a profound breaking point, it isn't a sign of a flawed strategy. It is a biological and circumstantial event that eventually visits every human life. When one part of your life breaks, shock waves destabilize the entire system. A financial collapse drains mental energy, a broken heart saps physical strength. This impact creates a permanent change in your internal landscape. Your normal baseline is gone forever. This widespread damage creates a vacuum. You find yourself in a disorienting mental space, where your old ways of thinking, the habits that used to get you through a difficult day, no longer function. That mark left by the break becomes your new identity. It settles into your history as evidence of your surrender, or as proof that you are capable of sustaining the impact and remaining upright. The real danger isn't the initial damage, but the paralysis that follows. Most people get trapped in the wreckage because they lack a protocol for how to function when they are broken. Once the initial shock passes, the struggle shifts inward. The physical circumstances are the terrain, but your mind becomes the actual battlefield where the outcome is decided. You are walking through a valley between two voices. Every decision you make in this space is an arbitration between two ways of processing pain. On one side is the default response. It's the pull toward worry, the urge to blame others, and the desire to let your spirit collapse under the weight of the tragedy. The other side requires a deliberate, taxing effort. It is the active choice to find wisdom in the wreckage, to maintain gratitude despite the loss, and to exercise the faith required to take the next step. This isn't a one-time decision. It is a constant, exhausting tug-of-war. You are forced to authorize one of these voices over the other, minute by minute, as you move through the dark. The severity of what happened to you matters, but it doesn't dictate your direction. Your trajectory is determined by which voice you choose to listen to while you are in the valley. In this environment, your external status means very little. Money, degrees, and your professional title provide no leverage against an internal crisis of the spirit. Survival here requires a different kind of currency. You have to find a reason to keep moving, something non-negotiable, like the needs of your family or the refusal to let your story end in this valley. When you identify that reason, your stance changes. You stop being a passive recipient of pain and start mounting an active defense against your circumstances. This is a raw, unglamorous execution. It's fighting through a sickness, battling a divorce, or career collapse. It's the refusal to run when you are outnumbered by your own problems. This capacity to stand your ground is a primal human force. It doesn't require a special background or support. It only requires the decision to stay with the struggle until the situation changes. If you stay with the fight long enough, a transformation occurs. The pressure of the crisis begins to act as a catalyst for a new kind of growth. There is a specific mechanic at work here. Staying with the breaking produces the blessing. By enduring the friction of the struggle, you are forced to expand your internal capacity just to survive. The necessity of the fight forces your mind and body to adapt. You develop a higher tolerance for stress, a sharper focus on what matters, and a level of resilience that you never had to exercise when things were going well. You are building the specific strength required to overcome the very thing that broke you. In this sense, the trauma isn't just an obstacle, it is a crucible. The intense heat of the crisis burns away your older, more fragile habits, and leaves behind a version of yourself that is significantly more stable. Crawling out of that wretched place requires a physical and mental effort that most people never have to experience. But as you climb, you are integrating everything the valley taught you. When you finally emerge into the light, you see that you have changed. The person who fell into the canyon is gone, replaced by someone who knows exactly what they are capable of enduring. The goal of the fight wasn't to get back to your old life. It was to become the version of you that can handle the weight of the new one. You have traded your comfort for a strength that cannot be taken away. You will always carry the marks of the break, but because you refused to retreat, you stand before the world as someone who was broken and yet remains unbroken.